This is not a letter written in haste, nor is it a casual note passed along in passing. It is a grave, heartfelt warning, a cry from the depths of a turbulent past that refuses to be buried, and a premonition of a perilous future if you continue to walk the treacherous path you have chosen. The message behind the title, Huong returns after many years, revenge or atonement with Jack, resonates now with an even deeper urgency and clarity. It demands that you confront not only the long-dormant wounds of betrayal, but also the ominous threat of external forces ready to exact their own form of retribution. For years, you have lived in the shadow of unresolved conflict, haunted by the memories of Huong, the very woman who, in a moment of betrayal, shattered the foundation of trust you had built. Her return, after many years of silence, is no mere coincidence. It is a manifestation of history that cannot be erased by time. Huong's reappearance in your life is a stark reminder that betrayal leaves scars that never fully heal. The wounds she inflicted, both emotionally and professionally, have festered into an unresolved vendetta. But this is not merely about her desire for revenge or the hope for atonement. It is about the dangerous crossroad at which you now stand. The conversation between Tu Tien and CEO Tone, a dialogue rich with unspoken sorrow, veiled anger, and a clear-eyed assessment of reality, was a moment of raw truth. Their words, filled with the weight of experience and the burden of witnessing your repeated mistakes, have now become a mirror reflecting the consequences of your past actions. They remind you that no matter how well you manage your business transactions, legal procedures, or family affairs, the ghosts of betrayal and the consequences of broken trust remain ever present. In the midst of property deals, deposit negotiations, and the intricate legal formalities handled by Mr. Huong, a far more insidious drama has been unfolded. A drama where the personal collides with the professional, and where the past is inextricably linked to your future. Huong was once a trusted companion, a confidant whose presence in your life seemed synonymous with promise and shared dreams. But when she betrayed you, that trust was shattered. The betrayal was not merely a lapse in judgment. It was an act of calculated disloyalty that undermined the very essence of your being. The pain and confusion that followed have left an indelible mark, a stain on your character that you have attempted to cover with business acumen and superficial reconciliations. However, the return of Huong forces you to confront an undeniable truth. You cannot run away from your past, and you cannot ignore the consequences of your actions. Now, as you stand at this crossroads, the choice before you is stark. One path leads to a sincere atonement, a difficult, soul-searching journey that requires you to acknowledge your mistakes, to seek forgiveness from those you have hurt, and to rebuild the bonds of trust through genuine acts of remorse and accountability. The other path is the seductive lure of denial and evasion, a path that might offer temporary relief, but ultimately leads to a cycle of revenge and escalating conflict. It is not enough to simply hope that time will smooth away the rough edges of past misdeeds. Without an honest reckoning with the truth, every business transaction, every legal document, and every casual conversation becomes a reminder of what has been lost and what remains at risk. In this tumultuous scenario, the threat is not solely from Huong, whose motives now blur the lines between revenge and a misguided desire for redemption. There is another, more insidious danger lurking on the periphery, a person from outside your inner circle, an external force that harbors its own grudges and resentments against you. This individual, whose identity may remain shrouded in mystery until it's too late, represents the embodiment of the collateral damage wrought by your inaction and your continued refusal to face the consequences of your past. Their presence is a reminder that betrayal is a contagion. It does not remain confined to the boundaries of personal relationships, but seeps into every aspect of your life, threatening to dismantle your professional reputation, your family ties, and the legacy you have spent years constructing. Consider this a forewarning. Jack, the external threat is real, and it is coming. It is the result of a series of compounded missteps of ignoring the need for genuine reconciliation, and of allowing unresolved conflicts to fester into bitterness. Every moment you choose to dismiss the pain of betrayal as something that can be neatly tucked away into the recesses of your past, you leave open a door for revenge to enter, both from those you have wronged and from those who have observed your failures from afar. The calm surface of your everyday life, filled with routine meetings, business transactions, and family gatherings, masks a turbulent undercurrent of retribution that could erupt without warning. When the external force finally emerges, it will not be a simple matter of settling old scores. It will be a violent reminder that neglecting the moral imperatives of trust and accountability can lead to catastrophic outcomes. Your life, Jack, is at a critical juncture. The decisions you make in the coming days, weeks, and months will determine not only your fate, but also the fate of those around you. The path of evasion, where you continue to bury your guilt under layers of indifference, may seem easier in the short term. However, it is a path that leads to isolation, legal entanglements, and the inevitable collapse of relationships built over a lifetime. On the other hand, the path of atonement, fraught with pain, self-doubt, and the daunting prospect of public accountability, offers a chance, however slim, to mend the fractures that threaten to shatter everything you have worked so hard to build. This letter is not written to castigate you with empty threats or to evoke a sense of hopeless despair. Rather, it is an earnest plea for you to reconsider the trajectory of your life. The time for half measures and superficial apologies has long passed. You must face the reality that Huong's return is a symptom of a much larger malaise, a signal that the unresolved issues of the past have grown too large to ignore. The betrayal that once marked a turning point in your life now demands that you reassess every decision you have ever made, for the consequences are now reverberating beyond the confines of personal regret and into the realm of unavoidable retribution. In the corridors of power and influence, where legal documents are signed and business deals are sealed, the truth of your past remains a stubborn, unyielding force. The legal formalities managed by Mr. Huong and the strategic discussions between Tu Tian and CEO Tone are mere surface reflections of the deeper, more dangerous undercurrents at work. Beneath these routines lies the potential for a violent backlash, a convergence of external forces driven by the need for justice that will not hesitate to harm you if you do not make amends. The warning is clear, Jack. If you continue down the current path of denial and evasion, you will not only risk the wrath of those you have personally betrayed, but you will also become vulnerable to an external enemy, one who has patiently waited, gathering strength and resolve, to mete out a punishment that could be both severe and irreversible. This enemy is not a figment of your imagination, but a real, tangible threat born out of the accumulated weight of your misdeeds. Their actions will not be confined to personal vendettas. They will extend into the professional and legal spheres, undermining everything you hold dear. I urge you to take this warning seriously and to seize the opportunity for genuine transformation. Begin by facing the painful truths of your past and by taking concrete steps toward atonement. Seek to understand the depth of the hurt you have caused, not only to Huong, but to every person who once trusted you. Let humility be your guide as you embark on the arduous journey of rebuilding broken bonds. Apologize sincerely, not merely as a gesture to appease public opinion, but as a commitment to change your behavior and to restore the integrity that has been so callously compromised. Moreover, be vigilant. Recognize that the external threat is not a distant possibility, but a looming reality. Reassess your personal security, your professional alliances, and your approach to conflict resolution. The moment you allow unresolved issues to fester is the moment you invite further harm that may come not just from those you have directly wronged, but from a faceless adversary who sees your vulnerability as an opportunity. The convergence of betrayal, external revenge, and the cascading consequences of neglecting your moral responsibilities is a storm waiting to break over your head. And when it does, the fallout will be as swift as it is merciless. Jack, the gravity of this warning cannot be overstated. The choices you make now will determine whether you can salvage the remnants of your reputation, mend the frayed bonds of trust, and protect yourself from a future marred by relentless retribution. The path to redemption is steep and fraught with difficulties, but is the only path that offers a glimmer of hope. A hope that you might, someday, rise above the chaos of your past and emerge as a person worthy of respect, trust, and genuine human connection. In closing, let this letter serve as a clarion call. Do not wait until it is too late. The return of Huong is not merely an isolated incident, but a harbinger of the consequences that will unfold if you persist in your current trajectory. Embrace the challenge of atonement with courage and resolve, for the alternative is a future where an external enemy, armed with the collective bitterness of betrayed souls, will come to harm you in ways you cannot begin to imagine. The time for excuses is over. The time for decisive, heartfelt action is now. May you find the strength to change before the inevitable reckoning arrives. Sincerely,